Hello and welcome to this CNBC TV 18 special interview. We are speaking with Mr. R. Thyagarajan, the grand old man of the Shriram Group, about the forthcoming merger talks that they are holding with IDFC. Mr. Thyagarajan, thank you very much, sir, for joining us today, because there are a lot of doubts in Shriram, the Shriram twin companies' investors' minds. In the first place, Mr. Thyagarajan, Shriram Transport investors probably wanted an exposure to the CV cycle, in which you set up world benchmarks in the way in which loans ought to be given. Now suddenly you are forcing them to take an exposure to insurance companies, etc. Are you sure all your investors are on board on this?
As long as the transport finance company does well in terms of return to the shareholders, improving over a period of time steadily and continuously, I think shareholders will be happy. Whatever we have been doing in Shriram Transport Finance Company over the years is to improve the quality of service that we provide for our customers, making them prosper more and more as we go along, and in the process provide adequate profit and growth in profits to the shareholders. We have been able to achieve it over the last 20 years or so, and I think this will continue into the future.
Okay, but none of the big shareholders, and you have marquee shareholders, even foreign investors, private equity groups, they are all okay that you will now be giving them infrastructure company loan exposures, insurance company loan exposures. They're okay with it?
We will be taking it to our investors once we get our agreement with IDFC clearer. Now, the preliminary interaction that we have had with some key investors has been very, very positive. I would explain to you as to what we have been able to achieve when we have been offering newer products to our own customers. For example, when we went into offering them general insurance product for our truck operators, the company, Shriram Transport Finance Company, started getting a new revenue stream into it. The truck operators had a tremendous amount of benefit because since we understood that business and since we understood the insurance business as well, we were able to give them claim settlements within 40 days from the date of accident, as against 1 year, 1.5 years on an average it used to take for them to collect their insurance claims from the insurance companies earlier. Now the truck operators have benefited because they get 30%, 35% more by way of claims without its adding to the cost to the insurance company in any way. Purely by improvement in efficiency, we were able to deliver a much better product to our truck operators. They benefited enormously, and we also benefited because there was a stream of income coming in. In the last 1 year, we have started extending life insurance benefits also to truck operators, and it is being appreciated. It is creating a revenue stream for STFC, but at the same time, the customers are also being benefited. So when we offer banking products through this association with IDFC, revenue stream for STFC will improve. Our customers will be benefited even more. That's the way we look at it.
Okay.
Well, and we have achieved it in the past, and I'm sure we will achieve it again in the future.
Okay. I will revisit this topic if we have time. But the other issues that this merger will face will be some regulatory challenges, some of the old RBI rules. When you first went to RBI and you said you want to keep your NBFC separate and you want a banking license, they said no. Why should they say yes now?
I think that is, you see, the regulators' attitude, policies also keep changing. And if they say that this deal should not go through, then we will not go through with it. But we believe that, at least today, we think that it is quite possible that the Reserve Bank of India may give its approval. But if they don't give in their wisdom any approval for this scheme, it will not take place, that's all. We'll continue to do our businesses the way we have been doing it so far. Only thing is, we believe that this is going to help our customers. It will help the cause of financial inclusion, which we have been serving all these years. All these things will be facilitated if a deal of this kind takes place. But if for some reason or the other, if it doesn't take place, we will not be in any way, our shareholders will not be seriously affected, I would say.
Sir, I have no doubt at all about the high regard that regulators hold you in person and what you have done in terms of the lending business. But that apart, you know, the regulator has other rules. So this time around, have you got some informal comfort from them?
I would say some discussions between our colleagues and the RBI officials in terms of their attitude towards the whole thing has been taking place. But I wouldn't say that RBI has made any specific commitment to approve or disapprove, nothing of that kind.
Okay.
We think that we have a better understanding of RBI's priorities and their objectives. We have a better idea. That's all I would say.
Okay.
But how they will be going to view the whole thing is something which we will come to know in the coming months.
Okay. Is it possible, sir, that they will tell you can keep Shriram Transport separately for now, but give us a timetable of merging with IDFC Bank?
You see, we will conform as long as the regulators, we are very clear, are working in the interest of the nation, in the interest of the community. So whatever guidance they give to us in this matter, we will be abiding by it 100%.
Okay. Okay.
Because our interests are aligned. They are interested in the community and the economy. We are also equally interested in the community and the economy. So we will be guided by the regulators as we have been guided in the past.
Yes, sir.
So we will do what they think is appropriate and good for the people around us. And I don't think there will be any problem on that count.
No, we don't doubt that, and I don't think they doubt you either. Mr. Thyagarajan, the other issue will be treating Mr. Ajay Piramal as a conglomerate. Now, one of the other RBI traditional discomforts has been allowing conglomerates in banking. Now, Mr. Ajay Piramal has interests in real estate. These are not areas which RBI has traditionally been comfortable getting into in any way mixed up with banking. Now, do you see that as an area of problems which you will have to tide over? Mr. Piramal's personal stake in IDFC after the merger?
That would be a concern for the regulator, yes, and they will handle it appropriately. And we will extend 100%. Mr. Ajay Piramal is very clear that he is interested in running or in participating in running the Shriram Group only in the interest of the community and in the interest of the shareholders. He is very clear about it. And therefore, in this also, we will go by whatever the regulator tells us, whatever the government tells us, and Ajay will be in sync with us with regard to that.
Okay.
So there will be no differences in approach. There will be no misalignment in our objectives. It will go along with the objectives of the regulations. Okay. Mr. Ajay Piramal also will be part of the whole thing.
Okay. Okay, I'll tell you what niggling worries Shriram Transport and Shriram City Union investors have. And I'm quoting some numbers from brokerage reports. One brokerage, I mean, many of them, of course, believe that Shriram City Union should get a much higher valuation. You know, you have been traditionally trading, your ROEs are much higher than IDFC's, the IDFC twins. So, you know, your price to book or your book value, price to book value should be something like, you know, 2.5, 3 times, whereas IDFC Banks is at 1.4 times. If you take that kind of a premium, there are some people who believe there should be 40 shares of IDFC Bank given to one City Union share. If that happens, then Ajay Piramal's share goes very close to 8% in the ultimate entity. If you want his stake to be 5%, which is a traditional RBI comfort zone, then you have to give something like only 25 IDFC Bank shares for one City Union share. Therefore, will the swap ratio be tailored so as to keep Mr. Piramal's stake down?
Latha, one thing is clear. No one is forcing the Shriram Group or Mr. Ajay Piramal or IDFC into this deal. No one is forcing us to get into this deal. When we look into the deal and its details, we will ensure that we take care of the interests of the shareholders of the respective companies, the concerns of the regulator, and the concerns of our customers as well. We haven't gone into the stage where we will be discussing swap ratios. I am sure that whatever is ultimately decided will be fair to every participant in the whole transaction, and it will be beneficial to the stakeholders of the organization as well as to the community. It will be ensured that way. Because as I said, there is no compulsion that we have to enter into a deal. We believe, prima facie, the deal is going to be of great benefit to everybody around, and we will structure it in that manner only. So nobody's interest will be sacrificed in order to enhance the interests of someone else. That will not be done.
Okay. Well, the other concern from your shareholders, that is Shriram City Union and Shriram Transport shareholders, is what are you all getting at all from IDFC Bank? IDFC Bank gets retail assets from City Union. They have only infra assets. They get retail assets. And they get a gold standard NBFC. But what are you getting?
You see, Latha, what is important is how we are going to build a good useful organization for the country by coming together. We are not so much interested in what has been created in the past. With what we have created in the past, what is it that we can create into the future which will be of great benefit to the shareholders and to the community is going to be our focus area. In all our partnerships in the last 15-20 years, we have focused only on what is good for the shareholders and to the community. And therefore, that will inform our attitude towards this merger also if it takes place. So we are looking at how to manage this transformation in a manner that is beneficial to everybody, that also helps the cause of financial inclusion. And therefore, I think the interests of everybody will be taken care of.
Sir, but separately, given all these regulatory red flags, how are you going into this 90-day or 120-day period? Is there a 50-50 chance of you having a deal? Is there a 50-50 chance of you possibly having to walk away because of regulatory hurdles?
You see, the optimists among my colleagues, they believe that the chances are 80%, 85%. The pessimists among my colleagues, they estimate the chances to be around 25%, 20%.
Okay.
What it is ultimately going to be, I won't be able to say with any amount of certainty. But one thing is clear, that we are having different stakeholders. We have the regulator. We will be consulting them. We will be primarily be guided by them. But the primary concern that all of us agree with us that we should have is the interest of the shareholders and the interest of the community. That we will not let down. And I think we should be able to find a way by which we can complete this transaction to the satisfaction of all people concerned. It's possible. Prima facie, it looks eminently workable.
Mr. Thyagarajan, we have to take a break on this note, but I have lots more questions for you, especially regarding the comfort zone of your large investors. We are back in a minute.